And then there's a guy later who recognized me that I was there always Sunday. He said, "Hey kid," because I was like 20 years old at that time, 20, 21 like that. He said, "Hey, you're still here. I noticed that you're here every Sunday. So why do you not joining us?" So I asked that, "Yeah, can I?" And then yes, so the next Sunday I went to Luneta and then joined the group. And later on I found out that the instructor introduced me to the old man. Said that is our grandmaster. It's like, what is name? Antonio Ilustrisimo. So that's the time how I discovered the Ilustrisimo system or the Ilustrisimo group in Luneta.
Good day, everyone. This is Dax Cordero, your host for another edition of the FMA Bandits Pinoy Martial Arts Mastermind. No? Again, I'm Dax. I am the subhead of Libre Fighting Philippines, as well as the co-founding head of Urban Combatives Philippines Study Group. And as usual, I am joined by my FMA Bandits cohort, Dr. Sixto Carlos. No? So say hello, Dr. Sixto.
Hello, Dr. Sixto.
Hello, Dr. Sixto. As we know, Dr. Sixto is the president of Calis Ilustrisimo Repetition Orihinal. He is the founder of Carlos Hermanos Stick and Knife Fighting. He's the founding head of Libre Fighting Philippines, as well as the co-founder of Urban Combatives Philippines Study Group. And, okay, we always say this, but tonight or today or whatever time it is of day in your area, we have a very, very special guest, okay? I always say that we have a special guest, but today we really have a special guest, okay?
Special.
A special someone.
Double special.
Okay. Okay. He is the head coach of Calis Ilustrisimo Repetition Orihinal, and he traces his lineage under Master Tony Diego of Calis Illustrisimo. Please welcome none other than Master Arnold Narzo. Teka, wait. I want to try something. Yes! Ang bagong trick yan. Say hello. Say hello, Coach Arnold. Say hello.
Hello to everyone. Hello to the followers and subscriber of this FMB Bandits. So how are you?
Yeah, so we finally, after months and months of trying, we finally get Master Arnold to guest in our show.
So, Dax, can I butt in? I'd like to say that Master Arnold has been my instructor in Calis Illustrisimo since 2011.
Oh, wow, 2011. I think I was in second year high school in 2011.
Yes, you flunked 10 times. Anyway, I'll tell you a bit of my background. My instructor before was Mang Tony Diego. Then I disappeared for a while, then came back with my brother, Baste Carlos. And when I came back to Mang Tony, it was Arnold who actually taught me most of the time. And when I came back in 2011, for almost weekly for years until the pandemic started, I trained with him 2-3 hours weekly. So again, I'm very proud that I like to introduce to you my master, my instructor, Master Arnold Narzo.
Wow. We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
This is the first time I did this in the podcast. I never did it.
Anyway, we told you we had a special someone today. Okay, so yeah, Dr. Sixto, I will ask the first question for our special guest. Okay, so Coach Arnold, you have been practicing, Calis Illustrisimo for the longest time, and but the first thing I want to know is how did you find out about Tatang Illustrisimo and his system? How was it that you discovered it? How did you find out
it was
about
accidentally. Since when I was young, I like martial arts. I like sports. Yeah. So It was accidentally when one time when I was jogging at Luneta, that was 1993. So I was surprised that there were lots of martial artists around Luneta. So just one by one, from group of boxers, then there's a karate, and then later on I found out that there was a stick fighting. So I don't have idea of stick fighting before, because when I was in CB, my neighborhood guy, then when I asked him, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm doing dosi pares." So it was in my mind that stick fighting is dosi pares. So I was in Luneta, I like, oh, there were lots of dosi pares here. So I watched this group one by one, but I don't know what's the name of the group. Just one by one around. And then the last group that I've watched was the group of Ilustrisimo. I don't know Ilustrisimo that time. And then I was like, oh wow, this is real. I like the system. So that's what my routine every Sunday. After my jogging, I went to the place and sat down and waiting those guys to train. And then there's a guy later who recognized me that I was there always Sunday. He said, "Hey kid," because I was like 20 years old at that time, 20, 21 like that. He said, "Hey, you're still here. I noticed that you're here every Sunday. So why do you not joining us?" So I asked, "Yeah, yeah, can I?" And then yes, so that's so the next Sunday I went to Luneta and then joined the group. And later on, I found out that the instructor introduced me to the old man. Said that is our grandmaster. It's like, what is name? Antonio Ilustrisimo. So that's the time how I discovered the Ilustrisimo system or the Ilustrisimo group in Luneta.
Okay, Coach Arnold, prior to learning
Then,
Calis Illustrisimo, did you have any previous experience in Arnis or in Filipino martial arts or any other martial art? Do you have any exposure to other systems?
okay,
Okay.
so this is I don't have experience with FMA before. What I trained before was boxing in the province of Cebu. So I was having there was my neighbor who taught boxing. So when I saw him doing some like how you call that yung shadow boxing. So I impressed. So I talked to the guy and said, "Can you teach me boxing?" So I learned boxing. The first martial arts I learned was boxing.
Mm.
Um, Coach, you trained
Okay.
for such a long time under Master Tony Diego, no? How was it that how did it come about that you became a long time student? How did you meet, and then how did you build the relationship with him? How did that go about? No?
Mhm. First, I trained in Luneta with Tatang and the other seniors there. And then one time we do sparring. And then Master Tony watching me while I'm spar. And then he was impressed how the way I spar. He invited me. His invitation is just like this. Said, "Okay, I invite you to go to gym to spar with Tom." His student. So I heard the name Tom, but I never met Tom. I heard Tom because they always, oh, Tom is fast, Tom is good. And then this Master Tony said, like, invite you to come to the gym and spar with Tom. Since we always do sparring in Luneta, so I said, yeah, yes. Where is it? What time? She's like, okay, on Monday we have a train at the Binondo, Juan Luna Binondo at 7 o'clock in the evening, and then look for the give me the address. Okay, I forgot the address. Then that's how invited me. So that's how I started training with Mang Tony. Because when I went to the gym, I was sitting down, waiting for him to give me like use part. But he said like, "What are you doing? He's just only watching." It's like, "What should I do?" So then Mantone told me, "Oh, you can join." So join. So that's how I started training with Master Tony. That's the story how I started with Mang Tony training with him.
So,
And then
yeah.
until his last days in his life. So I was with Master Tony always. So we've been close. We'll be like father and son. So after the training, before I don't have motorcycle, so we walk on the street at one Lona and brought him to the jeepney, and then I go my way home. So that's the routine. So every Thursday, Monday and Thursday, and then after a year, I bought a motorcycle. So I brought Mang Tony to his house directly after training at the gym.
Mm.
Coach, no? Coach Arnold. So
Yeah.
from Tatang Illustrisimo then to Mang Tony, what what impressed you about Mang Tony's teaching style? What was great about his teaching method?
The way how explains the system. How what I mean is the way how explain the execution of the technique, and then uh what do you call that? He has a long patience to teach you. So that's how I impress Mantone because they let you at the end of the class, they let you how to end up of how the way you move. So para bang it's like he's done his homework after the training. Parang it is how he say he done his job that if he saw his student at the end of the class, he can move. No? Parang ganun yung uh, understanding ko sa kanya.
Yeah. When you started the training
Okay.
in Luneta, do you remember who the other people were that were there who was training with you? Can you mention some of the names who were there?
Okay. Those who train some because there are some said like training with Tatang like now they say they're training with Tatang but the truth that time is I never seen him training. They just sitting down and watch and watch people move or watch Master Tony and yeah. Kasi watching Master Tony and Tatang do some
Mm.
demonstration. So
Because there
during
was
that
no
time
YouTube
when you
then.
ask me who among those who trains, yes, yeah, no YouTube. So that's why some people asking me sometimes like, oh yeah, instructor, like I think better to call them disciples because
Yes.
they're always following Tatang. Wherever
Mm.
Tatang goes, they're just always following. So they're not yet. Yeah, I cannot say the training because yeah, like Doc Sito said, we train every Thursday and within 3 hours. So
Mm.
that's how I call it training.
Mm.
Right.
But during that times, only we who are new to the group who trains, but some
Mhm.
Right.
other people on the side watching. Or the bad is there's some other say criticizing on the other side, but they're not really teaching us what is the proper movement. More on
Mm.
criticizing. Oh no, you have to do this one. No, that's wrong. But how can we believe that's wrong because they didn't stand up and show the movement.
Right. Right.
So that time I up to now I can say I'm a direct student of Tatang. But during that time, how can I say direct student of Tatang? I'm just only sitting down and then
Yeah.
talking and laughing. And
Yes.
that's it.
That's true. That's true. I remember that. That's true.
Yeah, the reason I ask is
Yeah,
because
the Sixto witness that there.
yeah. So Dr. Sixto, were you there when you met Coach Arnold
Yeah.
early
No.
on?
No. Ask coach. Let coach answer.
So Coach Arnold was Sixto training or was he sitting down and watching
Yeah,
Tatang?
you know. Yeah, because during that time, it's always the you ask Tatang.
Yeah,
Tatang will not teach in front of you. You ask Tatang. Tang, how,
right.
how can you
Yes.
counter
Yes.
this one? And that's it. And then there's
Yes.
people who ask question
Yes.
about Tatang, and now they consider themselves as they're direct student of Tatang.
Like
Right.
students
That's
of
ridiculous.
Tatang. they they only took pictures with Tatang.
No. Only few of them have cameras. Because during that time,
Yeah.
the cameras is you have to roll.
We had film,
Yeah,
yes.
and
We
then
had
we
film
develop
cameras.
24 pictures. Film only two pictures to develop.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
expensive. It was expensive
it's
back then.
camera filming that time.
Okay, so I'll go on to the next question. Coach, when were you given when was the
Okay.
first time you were given the permission to teach Calis Illustrissimo?
So actually, it is not formal for me first because I was assisted Mang Tony during that time. So if we have visitors at the gym, because he cannot stand long because of his knee problem. So he gave me instruction. Okay, no, feed this guy, feed like this. And then sometimes he teach the foreigners, and then he give me, okay, no, do for the review. So I'm watching Montoni, what kind of striking or the feeding exercises that he do to the foreigner. So I copy it. Okay, I feed this one, I feed this one, I feed this one. And then again, Master Tony give me some instruction. And then yeah, I was his sidekick that time, but he gave me formally a certificate of to be a chief instructor. That was 2013. Yeah, that was 2013 when he knows that he's dying. He has a problem. He said like, I want to make it formal, no, sabi niya. So I'll give you, I will issue a certificate to you. It's like, oh, Montoni, it's not, I think it's not the right time for me to have certificate because I want to learn more. So, no, because I want to fix everything before I gone. Said so. I put you as the chief instructor here, and then that's the time that I have the certificate. And officially, for me, that was my official as a teacher, because that's the time that I have certificate. Before, I'm just only assisting him, But if he has a knee problem, if his knee getting worse, so it's me who train, but he was on the side. It's me who teaches the foreigner, but he was on the side, and then giving some instructions.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, as the chief instructor, no, under Tony Diego, can you tell us like the process of how do you teach your students? How do you, if somebody comes to you and they want to learn, how is it that you teach Calis Illustrisimo?
Okay, so if I ask him first if he has already experience of like FMA, so I told him, you tell me the truth, so I know how to handle you. So if he said that I have experience with this kind, I came from the system. So okay, let me show you the way how you strike. And then that's the time I started teaching him. Okay, this is how Ilustrisimo. Okay, the Ilustrisimo is more on striking technique first. We always aware of striking because this is how Master Tony taught me before. He said you will be a good striker than a good blocker. He said. So because if you're a good blocker but you don't know how to strike, so it's nothing. So that's why when we teach, we concentrate first the striking technique. So that
Right.
if after the training, if he walks on the street and then somebody tries to attack him, he know how to strike. So he know how to hit his opponent.
Right.
So that's how I started. I started with the training, with the striking, and then next is the footworks, and then combination of strikes and footworks. And then that's the time we started teaching some techniques, moving to the left and right, counters against the counters.
Very deliberate way of teaching, no? Basics first, very
Basic,
important, no?
basic, yeah, very important.
Anyway, so my next question is, what was your relationship like with Tatang and Mang Tony? Can you tell us maybe some stories on how you interacted with them outside training? How were
Uh,
they like?
okay. So, different experience with. I have a long experience with Mount Tony because we've been together for a long time. As Tatang is, I have only a short time with him. So because he died in 1987, I joined the group late 1993 that time. Uh, so because my experience of Tatang is we're living close to our place. We're going in one way. So after the training, uh, I go with Tatang on the way home with the jeepney, and then invited him to take a lunch, go for a lunch in my house. Then after that, brought him to, because he lives in Parola, so it's close to my place. So I brought Tatang to Parola, and then when we reached in his house, we just sit for just talking for a few minutes, and then pick up sticks, and then he teach me some secret technique. All right, maybe for me just maybe secret techniques because he did show this in Luneta. Said, okay, no, you strike this one, strike this one. Then I said, Tang, that's it. So only three movements because it's hard for me to remember. So three movements. So that's the routine. So after training Sundays, then invited to my house, and then go to his house, and then again just a short training, like three techniques again. So this is one of my experience with Tatang. With Mang Tony, I have a lot of experience with Mang Tony because since 19, I started after Tatang's death. That's that 1997. That's the time that Master Tony stays long at Luneta because before he just only skip from his work, visit the Luneta, and then go back to his work. So when Tatang died, Mang Tony stays long at Luneta at that time. So when he invited me to join his training at Binondo, so we always after the training, that's what I said before. I brought him to the jeepney, going to his house. But before, he invited me to eat the restaurant for dinner. But his favorite food is like beef mami and forgot the name, yung sticky rice with pork sa loob. Yeah, kikiam siya. Yeah, so that's his favorite. So and then after that, I said like, oh Martoni, this is the payment. Like, no, no, no. I insisted to give the money. No, 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 no. He said like, why? He said like, I from now on I treat you as a friend. If you
Mm.
try to force me to give that money, so we're not friends. Okay, I will accept that money, but I don't want to see you again. I don't want to train me. I don't want you to train with me anymore. So I was like, what? So instead of I'm the one who paying after we eat in the restaurant, he paid everything, and then we cross the street with fruits, and then select okay 2 kilos for lanzones and separate 1 kilo. So he gave me the 1 kilo and then put 2 kilos to his wife. He said, oh, give this to your wife. So that's my experience with Mang Tony. So it's like, so I was amazed with this guys so he's not only an instructor for me, so like he's a father to me, he's a brother to me, because when we talk sometimes serious topics, he give me some advice. And then when it comes to training, he gave me advice that don't after the money when you train. Don't ask too much, he said.
Mm.
Because foreigners traveling here in the Philippines, of course, not at all are rich. So they spend money for the hotel, tickets, food, everything. So don't try to copy some instructors that getting advantage to the students. Said, you know what? Uh earned friends, he said.
Mm.
So look at me when my house burned. Lots of friends helping me. But but if I was like taking advantage to them, I think nobody will help me.
Right.
Said. So that's why how he give me some instructions, and that's how I experienced with Mount Tony.
Mm. Well, yeah, how long did you know Mang Tony before he passed? How many years was that?
Yeah. So we've been close since 1999
99.
until his last death. So this is uh Mang Tony that time when he knows that he has problem, he lose his uh ano tawag doon, he lose his yung sa himself to lose. So he said like, no, I'm dying.
Mm.
I'm happy because I know that Ilustrisimo will be in good hands. So I teach you everything. So please continue teaching when I'm gone. Continue teaching in Luneta because there are lots of people now claiming they're Illustrismos. So that's
Mm.
his advice. Uh, I told him that okay, if you go to the hospital, I will teach Luneta.
Mm.
So that's our deal. If you don't want to go to the hospital, I will not teach Illustrismo because
Right.
why? Because this is it. After what happened to you, okay, when you die, then people asking me what did you do to your master. So I did nothing. So
Mm.
I'm not happy to teach that I did nothing to you. So I don't have money. I told Montoni, money is not the problem because you have lots of friends eager to help you. So what I only contribute to you is my time. I told Montoni, so I give you my time. If you're in the hospital, I will not leave you. So that's our deal. And then it almost we started I started convincing him 8 o'clock in the morning until 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Mm.
Uh, So it's like we're going drama. He's crying. He's just crying like, oh, so like I can't believe this guy is strong and then crying. Said like, okay, so we're doing like drama. Oh, Mang Tony, I raise up my hands. So the 4 o'clock, maybe my family looking at me. So this is it. So you don't want me to bring to the hospital. So I will go home. So when I step out from your house, I never look back at you. I forget you. I forget Ilustrisimo. Maybe I'll go back to my hometown in Cebu looking for a better job for my family. So that's ideal. Then I walk out. And then when I reach my house, my phone ring. And it's like, then Matue said, pick me up, bring me to the hospital. I rush back. I rush back to the hospital. Then the other problem is, okay, let's go a taxi. No, I want to ride your motorbike. So, what? Yeah. So, so people carrying and putting him at my back with a motorbike, and then he hugs me. Okay, Mang Tony, hugs me tight. So if you lose, I know that he's going to sleep, so I have to stop. So he hugged me tight like this. When I try to change into a second gear to third, and then he start to losing. Let's stop again. Mang Tony, are you okay? Yeah, okay. And then start again. So when I reach the hospital, right away I talked to the doctor because he don't want to be stay in the hospital long. So I talked to the doctor. Doc, he's my uncle. So I introduced him as my uncle. He's my uncle, and I'm the one who taking care of my uncle. So he don't want to go. He don't want to stay in the hospital long. So please tell them that he was about to check up everything. So he stays only 3 days. 3 days. Okay. So and then when the doctor check up, like, oh, wow, only miracle can save this man because everything is go down, the blood pressure, the kidney is high bloods, everything. So the immune system is going down. So it's like it's a miracle. So he has to stay here for almost 3 months. So okay, doc, just tell him just only 3 days. So when the doctor check up him and said, oh, Tata, there's a problem, so we have to stay to the hospital for you to check up. Then Mata said, how many days? Only 3 days. And Master look at me. Oh, that's only 3 days, man. Don't worry. Don't worry, 3 days. That's only 3 days. So he put up we found a room and he stays. You see, he's counting the days. No, you said 3 days. Mount Tony, because the doctor who assigned you is on the meeting, so he's not available today. Maybe next week. And then next week, and then he's counting again. No, this is it's only next week. What date is not is now? He's like he said, I'm here for 15 days already. So he said only 3 days. Tony, because the doctor is in abroad, isn't like so much to pull out the needle. Said I have to go home. No, they will not allow you to go home, Tony, because if you go home and then it's the doctor's responsibility, he should sign for your release. And the said, okay. So every time we talk in the hospital, he said his plan. He said, I want to go. I want to surprise. No, I will surprise. I'd like to surprise people that I'm back. Let's do some a new book for Illustrisimo, because he said, oh, there's a problem of our first book that we made because it cannot check properly. He said because it was made by one night. So he said like I want to make a new book for Illustrisimo. And I said like yeah. So I'm excited. I'm happy to hear about that you have a fighting spirit to live, because every day you almost know tomorrow I'll die, and then no, tomorrow I'll die. That's always saying. Always every time we meet, no, tomorrow I'll die. So yeah. So when I remember Mandone, like I'm teary-eyed because some other people didn't know how I took care of Mantoni. So now people doesn't know about what I did with Mantoni. So I'm just only laughing when the way he attacked me. Say like, I'm ambitious, eager to taking advantage to be like he said, to be head of the Illustrisimo. Like, no, you don't know the story. They don't know the story.
Yes, they don't know that.
Yeah. Sixto, can you share a little bit of insight to that?
Okay. To tell you the truth, no. Okay. Originally I was taught by Mang Tony. Then later, again, I disappeared, went back to Illustrisimo, no. The reason Basta and I learned under Coach Arnold, it's because we saw the way Coach Arnold moves. He knows he knows and understands what Mang Tony knows. If Arnold wasn't that good, we might not be training with him. We might not be training with him. But from our experience, Arnold is very, very good. So we decided to continue our Calis Illustrisimo voyage, our training with the Master Arnold.
Mm.
So I can attest to that. That's my experience with Mang Tony and Coach Arnold.
Coach Arnold. Yeah. Coach Arnold, you had a very long relationship. You were very close with Mang Tony, no? Uh,
Uh-huh.
if any, what is the most important lesson that you learned from being Mang Tony's friend and student?
Yeah. First, the start I said before is don't go after the money. That's that was his advice to me. Make friends, sabi niya. Earn lots of friends. And then at the end, they will help you. And then uh, I was witness how his generosity to his neighbors. So like when his house was born, and there's another also neighborhood house was born. He stayed at the basketball court. When his student visited him and give him money, and later said like, okay, you have to buy pandesal 500 pesos. Like what 500 pesos pandesal mantone for? Uh, that's too much. He said like, I received a gift from my friends, so I have to share it to people also around who lose their houses. Oh, wow. So it's the same in the hospital. So when I was in the morning, I went to the hospital. Oh, Mr. Tony, so it's time for you to eat. It's like, oh no, you give me like 200 pesos. Like, what's this? You buy pandesal. And that's too much, 200 pesos. Oh, give them to other patient around him. So like, oh wow. So that's how I experience, and then that's how much I like with Master Ten when it comes to money. He's not greedy.
It's very
He's ready to
generous.
help.
Very
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 generous.
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 Mm.
Yes.
Yeah, he's very generous.
So, okay, Arnold, our next question is, do you believe you are carrying the memory and the legacy of Mang Tony? And what are you doing to maintain the legacy?
The hard question is saying, do I believe? Okay. I kind of see that I'm bringing the legacy because there are other students of Mangtoni who's also now teaching. Okay. So for me, I think I if I still continue training the same way how Master teaches me, I can say, yeah, it is his legacy. Ah, yeah. So because he told me that okay, when you teach, promise to me that don't change the way how you learn from me, don't change the pureness of the Illustrissimo. So maybe if I carry that kind of teaching, bringing the pureness of the Illustrissimo, okay, see, I bring his legacy because Master Tony is Master Tony. It's hard to level Master Tony to be as like legacy. Maybe I just only his student carrying his system.
Mm. Yep. Coach, let me just share to the people out there. When I first met Coach Arnold, you know, I was very, I'm not a very shy person, but I was intimidated
Yes,
because
we know you're not shy, Dax.
because I was intimidated,
Everybody knows that.
and I didn't know how to approach him. But funny because it was coach who would come to me and say, "Oh, how are you?" and "Oh, nice to see you again." And I never really knew how to address him. But if you guys get a chance to meet Coach, he's a very humble person. He's very always smiling. He's always saying hi to people. Now let me ask you, Coach. Okay, with all your accomplishments and for you've been teaching this and been training this for so long, why do you prefer to be called coach and not master or supreme master or whatever magical
Grand
title there is? Why coach? I mean, coach is like, you know
Ultimate Grandmaster.
yeah, you can call everyone coach, but why you? I'm like, why just
Like po,
coach? Why is that?
No,
punong
why
dahon,
not
punong
Datu?
Why not that,
oh,
or why not
why not punong ugat o punong dahon?
Or punot dulo.
Punot
Punot
dulo.
dulo.
Right. Yeah, okay, okay. So this is my definition as a grandmaster. Because it's funny every time we have, like when I attend some uh, group, some other group inviting me, or there's a party, everybody address like grandmaster, supreme master, great grandmaster. Everybody like, wow, it's very dangerous here because lots of grandmasters here. So yeah, yeah, I experienced it one time when I visited a wake of the late grandmaster. So there's a grandmaster, supreme grandmaster, great grandmaster. There's a junior grandmaster. Like, wow, everybody here around me is grandmaster. So I have to move out from that room and then sitting outside. Yeah. Oh, because for me, my destination as a grandmaster, first, you should be the creator of the system. You create your own system to be called as a grandmaster. The second, you have an experience of a real fight that using your knowledge from the system. And that's only Tatang who did that. People knows about Tatang stories, experience in a real fight. For me, what I did is I'm teaching the system of Ilustrisimo. So it means I'm following this Tatang's system and Master Tony's system. So I'm looking them always as my grandmaster. I always student forever. So uh, I consider myself a student forever of Illustrisimo. So people sometimes call me master. No, no, I'm not master. It's a shame. So because
Mhm.
I can even tie Master Tony's ability. Master Tony is Master Tony.
Yes,
Mm.
Oh,
yes, yes.
Grandmaster. No, no, not Grandmaster. So it's a shame because first I'm not too much old to be a grand master. And Tatang is Tatang. So even Mang Tony doesn't want to be called grandmaster because said Tatang is Tatang. That's how we respect Tatang as the grandmaster. Nobody can even tie his title. The only one grandmaster for us is Tatang Illustrisimo. So
Mm.
you can
Yes.
call me like brother, kuya, guru, coach. So I prepared like, oh coach, it's nice to hear coach.
Mm.
Because no, I'm not just only coaching Illustrissimo because if I have a young students, I give him some advice from him. I'm coaching his how the way he do his life. So I'm not only coaching for Illustrissimo. So sometimes that's why I have a good relation with my younger students because after the training we talk and then say like, how are you? How's your schooling? Okay, then tell me what's the problem in your house. If you have problem in your house, don't do bad things. Just I am here. I'm not only an instructor. I'm ready to hear from you. So that's
Mm.
how I have a relationship with my students. So for me, yeah, that's coach. I'm happy to hear coach.
So you're a coach, not only
Yeah,
in Illustrisimo but in life as
yeah,
well, no,
yeah,
coach?
yeah,
Yes.
yes.
Grandmaster
Very
Because
good,
coach.
very good. Yes.
Coach
I told them
Grandmaster.
Uh,
yeah, because most of them are don't have family. So I have family. So I have kids, 3 kids. So I share them the experience of say like, oh, you have to finish your study because uh, it's hard to raise family if you don't have a proper job. And that's how I advise them. Look at me. I'm maybe lucky. I try to tatang Master Tony that he give me this talent. They share me this talent, and then I use it now as my bread and butter for my family.
mm.
But you, I told them you have a good life at the end because you're young and your father can help you how to they can afford you to send to better school. So
Mm.
the only thing you did is uh, exchange them of the way how go study hard. So that's why I told them I'm coaching not only for Illustrissimo, whole life, everything. If you ask me some questions, then I'm coaching them the way how to handle the situation.
Yeah, it seems like the way, when you tell that thing of yours when you teach your students, no, that you are more than a coach of Illustrisimo. You sound like Tony Diego, Master Tony Diego with you, because he wasn't just teaching you; he was also coaching you in life. No, so it
Yes,
seems
yes.
that rubbed off on you. No, that you are also doing the same with your students. Very nice, coach.
Yeah, that's how I so much learn from him. And then another way of teaching is like Mantoni. He has a long patience when he teaches. Same as me, even though like I'm trying to like lose my temper, but still I'm smiling.
When Sixto teaches, he does not smile. He's always angry.
Yes. I'm the opposite of Arnold. Bang Tony. Well, you don't have a brother like Baste. That's why I'm always angry. Anyway, going back. So coach, no, our organization is called Kiro. Calis Illustrisimo Repetition Orihinal.
Orihinal.
Anyway, what is Kiro compared to other KI Calis Illustrisimo groups? And how are they related and how are they different?
Okay, Kiro. So Kiro is the under the lineage of Master Tony. Huh? So
Yes, yes.
there's other group that they call it like Mang Rome is the Calis Illustrisimo Traditional. Then there's a Calis Illustrisimo USA, and then Calis Illustrisimo from Master Topper's son. So, but we are still in one umbrella of Calis Illustrisimo. We're still brotherhood, but they have their own decision of their they have their own roles of their group. But we're supporting each other.
Mm.
Okay. Different. I think there are some instances because how do we their teachers understand the system because they're different understanding of the system. There's a little bit how you see similarities, but there's other they have their own interpretation. So that's what I observed because I'm just only with Master Tony's. I only learn from Master Tony. So that's their maybe that's their style, but still there's the foundation of some KI practitioner. The foundation of Illustrisimo is still there, but it's only going to difference at the executions of the technique because Master Tony he creates lots of you see that lots of interpretations of the executions of the technique. For like example, pluma. Okay, so here's lots of uh, executions of the technique. So you observe that, right?
There's different
That's what
versions of
is
the
there.
same technique,
That's the
different
question.
versions.
Because the other this is how the understand. That's it only. For example, okay, we're talking again pluma. Okay, pluma vertical. So yeah, that's how Tatang move in video, and then they stick with that.
Yes, yes,
Sometimes
yes.
if your hand is here, don't need to push you there because your hand is there already. Go with that. If happens that you pull your hand in this position, don't reposition. Just go with the thrust. So that's how Master Tony's uh, system. But still, okay, the pluma, the foundation of the system is still there. So that's I think that's the difference of the others KI group, the KI club.
Uh, so
Oh,
I'll
oh.
ask another question.
Sige.
On my shirt is the logo of Kiro, no? You can see the stingray. So can you please tell us about it, about this design? If I remember it right, it was Mang Tony who designed this, di ba?
Yes. Yeah.
Can you
Yeah.
tell us the symbolisms, what this means?
Before
The
I explain that,
stingray.
before I tell that, before it's hard to to finalize the logo before because Master Tony was very meticulous of the logo. He don't want to be like skull. He didn't because he said that's dead. Yeah, oh, that's dead. And then he don't want those crossing sticks like that because that's just ordinary. Before he wants to have a logo like this pearl, and then there should be a gold inside, but no one can do it perfectly. So he changed into like, okay, let's do animal. He said. So he chose the stingray. He said stingray is silent but dangerous. He said.
Mm.
So like stingray, he do a whip. So because he whip at the tail. So he said like, okay, so uh this is silent but dangerous, but don't touch him with hatred, and then he will react you do the witik. That's how explain. And say it's like, okay, this is the green color is life. He
Mm.
said. So I want a live logo said, and then that's K is they put it like okay. First is just simple K Kiro, and then later on we change like Tatang holding. It happens that Tatang's a picture like a little K position. That's why they put the K, and then the stars in the top. Not only referring as Tatang, the stars coming from the northern part of Cebu said. So
Mhm.
that's how he explains that logo.
Interesting. Interesting. I never because I made the shirts for Kiro and I never really took the time to understand the I just I just thought that it was a really cool logo because manta rays are cool. But yeah, very
Yeah,
interesting, very interesting.
that's one. Yeah.
So
No,
but
no, this is the
yeah.
difference between the manta ray and the stingray. Is it?
I was okay,
Ah,
yeah.
okay,
Okay, okay.
okay,
Explain,
Yeah,
okay.
explain, explain.
I didn't
yeah,
know that.
yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't know that.
That's how I said the manta ray is long, short tail.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
The stingray has a longer tail, so that's why he can whip you like this.
Okay. So Kiro
Ah,
is a
so it's
stingray. He's a
stingray. Okay,
Yeah,
stingray.
okay.
stingray. Yeah,
Okay.
not
I
not
learned
Good thing
manta
ito.
ray.
I learned something today.
Yeah,
And Dr.
before,
Sixto is a veterinarian, by the way.
yeah,
So he
me
should know
first before.
animals.
No,
I
it
also
doesn't include
confused before.
stingrays. It
Yeah,
doesn't
I
include
also
stingrays.
confused between the difference of the stingray and manta ray. And then because Mantoni said like because Mantoni is a seaman. So he was
Mm.
a seaman. And he's also he knows about different kinds of fish. So he said like okay, so Mantoni was the different of stingray and the manta ray said like the manta ray is just like they're cool. They don't hurt. They only have a shorter tail than the stingray.
Mm.
So it's like
Right.
okay.
So it's the stingray, the Kiro stingray.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, with that na siguro we'd like to thank you, Coach Arnold, for gracing
Uh,
our show.
Thank you for
Yeah.
inviting me here.
Would you like to say some final words before we let you go?
Okay, so first we have to shout out the Kiro brothers.
Hello, Kiro
Yeah,
brothers,
yeah. So
mga
should I
boys
mention? Should
and
I mention
girls.
names? Oh, sige, we should mention names na lang para
Yes, go go.
na magpapo. Okay, of course, first is Basti. Are you there?
Matapos
Absent.
yan.
Baste is absent.
Basti.
He's supposed to be here.
Sorry.
He did not
Where,
wake
where's,
up.
where, where is he now? Is back in Atlanta or still in California?
He's moving to Minnesota. He's moving,
Minnesota na.
yes, from
Okay.
California to Minnesota. Yes.
Okay. So again, so brother Duran, Lance Vélez, I know you're
Doors.
watching. Yeah, Lance Vélez, you should be here.
Okay.
dag, dag,
The boys.
dagdag pang urot ka.
No, we'll interview him
Uh,
separately.
okay, so yeah, so the Kiro Lunita, our secretary Ramon Jorge, of course, guys like Anton, TR, Arnel Tandang, and then yeah, the rest
The
of the
core group.
Luneta
The
boys,
core
and
group.
then
Yeah.
core group, and then you have the Alex Ersha, US, and then there's a new from Sacramento now, uh, Jerome Sarinas. Okay, and then like international from abroad like Slavin Paninis, how are you?
Slaven.
Of course,
Yeah,
Laven.
Slavin.
Patrick.
Yeah, Patrick. It's hard to pronounce his Patrick. Yeah, you
Just
know
say
Patrick.
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 Patrick. Of course.
Patrick Goujon.
Yeah, Patrick was Dr. Nguyen, of course, Dr. Nguyen Navarro, and then of course Shamim Haq in
Nico.
London. Miko din in Belgium. Yeah. So brother, how are you? And then who else? The Hong Kong guys. La Wai Ming, thank
Hmm.
you for the nice
And Andy.
documentation. Andy Chan, Manon Lee, and the
Hmm.
core group of Kali Brotherhood in Hong Kong. And then in Korea, Richard Wang. So how are you there? Oh, Conrad Lee. I know you're watching.
What about the Spanish guys? The
Yes.
Spanish guys.
Oh, no, he mentioned
No.
already. No way.
Okay, 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 okay.
No, yeah, no. Dr. Noe Navarro. He's
Right, 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 right.
Illustrisimo, yeah.
Mm.
Other guys, Ernebal Baligo in Singapore or else. And Casimiro Allen in Japan. Yeah. What else? Yeah, it was, again, so to all the Kiro brothers out there. Sorry, it's hard for me to discuss the name. So, how I will keep on, we should reunite each other. So, no issues. Let's continue the
Yes,
legacy
yes,
of the Ilustrisimo. We
yes.
support each other.
Let's keep on training.
Yeah,
Keep
keep
on
on
training.
training. Just keep on
Yes.
training.
And stay safe, everyone.
Okay.
You're right.
Thank you, Coach.
So, Coach, we'll do this again in the future. We'll ask more detailed questions about Calis Illustrissimo, but that will be part two.
Ano, no holds barred.
We'll drink beer
Basta-basta.
during that time.
Yeah. Okay,
We'll
okay.
drink beer.
Oh, yeah.
All
Okay,
right,
so
Coach.
again,
Thank you. Thank you.
thank you, Dr. Dax, and thank you, Dr. Sixto, for having me here. A little bit
Yeah.
get nervous. Sounds good to see.
That was Coach Arnold Narso. No.
Yes,
So
a
yeah,
funny thing, actually, in Calis Illustrissimo, in Kiro, I'm actually his senior.
yes,
I was
yeah.
actually senior, and actually, one of the other guys, Doran Sordo, uh, he's more senior than I. It was Doran, me, and Baste. Then Arnold came later. But it's Arnold who mastered the system.
Mm,
So we bow down to him. Anyway, this was a great interview. We did not talk much about techniques. We talked more on. Arnold shared with us a glimpse in the life of Tatang and Mang Tony.
Mang Tony. Yeah, this very. It was very interesting, no, na how close they got, no, and particularly towards the end of Mang Tony's life, no. Uh, and like he said, a lot of people they claim, that they've been studying with Mang Tony for such a long time, but like he said, they don't know the whole story
Yes.
and they weren't there when Mang Tony was experiencing his last days. No, very interesting stories, no, by Coach Arnold.
Okay, anyway, we learned a lot from Coach Arnold, and we'll do this again. We'll invite him again in the future so we can ask him more things about Calis Illustrissimo. Okay,
All right. Okay.
so
So yeah. So anyway, thank you everyone again for listening, and hope you guys can join us again on the next episode. All right. Stay safe and
okay,
peace.
stay safe.
All right.